Hi, this is Crystal and I am off to Shambhala here on YouTube, and this is Reseller Shop Talk. This is an approximate 1 hour talk show with just me. Eventually I'd like to have other people on, but I'm just getting started and I don't even know how to bring other people on yet because I am very non-techie. But I like to make videos and I actually really like to promote other people. I love that, and I would love to promote other people or, you know, form a networking group of some sort, a small group. Eventually, I don't really have any specific plans or anything set up for that, but that's sort of one of my loose bucket list goals for my YouTube channel and everything that I'm doing. But I really like doing the YouTube channels because the YouTube shows and videos, because I just feel like it's a good way to get to know people. So anyways, that's why I do the show and why I make videos. Anyways, that's not why we're here to talk about me, although when you're running your own show, you sort of end up talking about yourself a lot, so sorry if I sound narcissistic. Okay. Now, I have decided to create sort of like a format for the show so it's not just me rambling. And I might sound a little bit like Jay and, what is it, the thrifting, with Jay and Nay, Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. I don't know if you would say that I'm totally copying him, but I've sort of created some little segments with some what I think could possibly be catchy names. I don't know how everybody else will respond to them, but I have some catchy names for different segments with different topics to help me keep things organized and focused and somewhat predictable. But I'm not committed to always having something in these categories, and I may introduce new categories, blah, 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 blah. This is a pretty loose format show. Also, before I go on, I do want to say, please leave a link to your videos down in the comments, and I personally will go and watch them to help you get views, and because I would like to get to know people. If you don't have videos, then so be it. I'm happy to have conversations with people down in the comments here on YouTube, because I don't really do Facebook or anything else. I just really like to just stick on YouTube for now. It's simpler. But well, and also hopefully other people that do happen to come on, hopefully they will. Link sharing is welcome here. That's my whole point. Okay, so the first category, actually, I've sort of, I jump around. I never do things in order. That's why I like that movie Pulp Fiction, because I love things that are not in chronological order. I'm like, that's the best non-chronological order movie there ever was. Okay, let's see. The first segment, this is the name I've come up with for now. It could evolve into something else, but it's Watercooler Gossip. Because, I mean, come on, what's better than standing around the water cooler gossiping? And you can't do that when you're a reseller because you're working alone most of the time. It's not like you can meet up with Joe from the office down at the end of the hall at the water cooler every now and then and gossip. Like, I used to do that when I worked at Costco with the other demo chicks. We didn't necessarily have a water cooler, but we would stand around and water cooler gossip. And so I love water cooler gossip. And it doesn't have to be bad. Gossip can be good. And so I'm keeping all of my gossip good. So water cooler gossip is a segment where I talk about other resellers. And in this episode, I am talking about Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. And Jay is Jason T. Smith, who had a show on Spike Television, which I never saw. I don't have cable. I don't really watch. I mean, I don't have time. I'm busy on YouTube. I don't have time for cable. Like, but, and I don't want to pay for it. You know, I'm like, if I was paying for cable, I'd be like, oh, I have to make sure to watch cable this weekend or something. And then it's like, no. I'd rather just watch YouTube videos. So, anyway, so Jay is he has a really great show, Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay, and I really love it. I love how he structures it, and he is a great host. He's very witty. He just has a good way of, he's very good at what he's doing there. Like he's awesome. I love Jay. And Nay is his, well, I kind of, she's kind of like his sidekick. I mean, I'd like to say they're like 100% equal, but I don't know. I just think of her as a sidekick, and that's not a bad thing. I hope if you happen to be listening to this, Nay, that you don't feel bad me saying that, but I like that about the show, that she's sort of like, he's like this crazy goofy guy, and she's more like, the normal person. And it's just, it's I like the contrast. And I mean, it technically is Jason's show. He pretty much runs it, and I think he's organized it. I would imagine that Nay has probably helped come up with some of the concepts that they've developed on there, as far as like their little segments and stuff. But anyways, well, that's my impression. And Nay is really awesome, and I really enjoy everything about the show. So if you haven't seen Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay yet, check them out. And I'm basically copycatting them. And you know what? Copycatting is like the biggest compliment. So hopefully they'll take it that way if either of them ever watch my show. And again, I tend to evolve, and everything could completely change in a New York minute. So, in fact, ooh, that sounds like a good category. A New York minute. I love that saying. That would be a good category. That would be like when things just all of a sudden change, and you have to completely do something different. Okay, I like that. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to mention Jay and Nay. Oh, and I will have a link below to Jay and Nay's show. And oh, and thank you, Jay, for hooking me up with the tiki mugs. I mean, I had heard that tiki mugs were good, and I knew that there was like a tiki thing going on for a while. But thanks to you, I really look at them way more seriously, and I just scored some good tiki mugs last month and sold them, and so that was really cool, and thank you so much. Okay, so what is the next segment? Third base steals. I have a couple of baseball references in my show. I like to refer to a lot of things as third base steals because I think we get so many more third base steals than we do home runs as a reseller. I mean, and again, back to Jay. He talks about, a lot of these people, a lot of resellers talk about this, that the way that they make it look like on those reality shows is like everything is like a home run, and they pick something up for $100 and sell it for thousands, or even they pick something up for $20 and sell it for thousands, or they pick up something for $1 and sell it for thousands, and this happens all the time. Like, oh, if only. But you know what? Keep the rumor going. Keep the rumor going. It's fine with me. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Okay. Okay, so I am going to talk about my third base steal, which is something that I got like a super duper good deal on, and I haven't actually sold this one yet, but I suspect that I'm gonna make money on it. And you know, worst case scenario is I make, well, there's a worst case scenario and I think a best case scenario. And the best case scenario probably isn't like amazing like a home run, but it's worthwhile of the effort. So here is the item that I got. That I actually got 4 of these. Oh, it doesn't show. It's like huge. It is a Hampton Bay lamp. Woohoo! Gotta love Hampton Bay. But look at it, it's really nice. It's not wrought iron, but it has like a wrought iron look. And I think it's pretty darn cool. And it's kind of funny. There's a story because I can't just say, hey, look what I picked up. No, I have to tell the story. So I'm in Home Depot looking for, what do you call it? One of those strips with the surge protector in it that has like an 8-foot or 6-foot long cord at Home Depot. I was told that they had them at Lowe's. Somebody said they have them at Lowe's. I thought, well, there's a Home Depot right by my office, so let's see if Home Depot, you know, because usually when people say Lowe's, that means that it's probably also available at Home Depot. But no, they don't carry them in the store with like the 8-foot long cord. So I really did have to go to Lowe's, which is too bad because I always make Home Depot my first stop because my brother works there and he owns a livestock. And so, you know, I want to support my brother. So I always shop Home Depot. Okay. So they didn't have that, and then I went in and I asked the gal about that, and then I said, hey, is there like a clearance rack or something? And she's like, yeah, and there happened to be one like right at the end of the aisle where we were standing. And I go over there and I look up, and the first thing I see like at eyesight is like, I don't even know what the product was, but and every time I go in and look at the Home Depot clearance, it'll be like the clearance rack, and it'll be like something that was originally $9.99 is on sale for $9.25. I'm like, and she's standing there with me. I'm like, what kind of clearance price is that? Like, that is not clearance. She's like, well, they put stuff out there to get people's attention, and then whatever, and then like they just keep lowering the price after time, so they must come back like after a couple days or every day. I don't know what. I need to ask my brother. I'm like, what is up with the crazy Home Depot clearance? Like, those prices aren't even clearance prices. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to retail Arb here. But my brother and I have been talking about retail Arbing at Home Depot because he's there all the time, and I have another story to tell if I remember. But let me get back to this story. But then I look up on the top shelf, which is like totally out of reach, and these lamps are up there, and there's like a whole bunch of them. Well, this and some other styles, and they're like $4 each. I'm like, $35-$40 lamps are on sale for like $4 each. This is the kind of shit people are always talking about. I'm like, and then some other lady came by, and I'm like, can you help me get this stuff up here? And she brought over things she helped me get. And this is the crazy thing about this whole trip to Home Depot. I can't tell you how many times I've been to Home Depot or Lowe's, and you walk in, and you're like, where the heck is the thing I'm looking for? Or I just need a recommendation for the type of thing to get, or whatever, and you can't find a single person to help you. Well, in this trip, as soon as I walked in, there was one lady that we were having a wonderful conversation, and and she showed me where to find the awesome deals, the lamps that I got a really amazing deal on. And then and she went on her merry way. And then when I needed help getting the lamps down, because I saw them like right after she like left. And that's when I looked up and I'm like, whoa, Holy Mother of Mary. And then right after that, some other employee came by and she brought over those big step things. And she's like, these are the ones for customer use. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I thought all of those were for, but they do have those steps for customer use. And I can't remember, there's like some kind, they're like plain, and then the ones that are not for customer use are clearly marked as for employees only. So if there's no thing that says whatever, you can use those steps to get on the top shelf. So I didn't know that. So, I mean, this was just like a major learning, positive experience at Home Depot, the whole thing. So then, after I pick up the lamps, I got 4 of those big lamps, and then I got, oh shoot, I should have checked before I started the video. And then I got 2 of these littler ones. I kind of wish I hadn't, well, I mean, they were so cheap. I don't regret. It's like I got them for free, really, because I'm not done with my story. So I should, you know, and I would almost call this a home run, but I just don't think I'm going to make like a huge amount of money on these. And it's going to take some effort. It's not going to be like an easy, fast flip either. So that's why it's not a home run, but it's definitely worth talking about. And the best part is how much fun I had at Home Depot that day. So then, as I'm walking out, I happen to walk down the light bulb aisle. I'm like, oh, I should see if they have any of those super duper lumen light bulbs. And lo and behold, they do. And there was somebody there. I'm like, there's an employee here. I can't believe this. And so I don't remember what question I had, but I asked them a question. And I don't remember what the question was at all, but I was just struck by the fact that everywhere I went, there was an employee to help me. Like just waiting. It was like they were just waiting for me. And so then I ended up getting some light bulbs for my house, because like half the light bulbs in my house are out, and as soon as I buy like a pack of light bulbs to replace them, like the other half go out. Like I'm like, I just need to super duper stock up on light bulbs because I'm having like light bulb issues. So then I remember what the question was. It was about LED lights. Okay, but that has nothing to do with this conversation really. So then I go to checkout. When I'm like all excited because I got my lamps. I'm disappointed a little bit. I'm not even disappointed that I have to go to Lowe's because I got this great score on these lamps. But I was like, it's a bummer that they don't have the power strip thing I needed, but whatever. And then they did have that one light bulb that I was planning. It's $40. It's a 4,000 lumen light bulb, and it was like $40. And like, I'll get this next month. Because I really want to try that for the photography. And if they, whatever, I might go over to like another place and get them. Anyways, so then I go to checkout, and there's no waiting. And the gal that I'm checking out with asked me if I want to apply for a credit card. And I'll get, what did she say, like 35%? No, I would get $35, not like a percent, but dollars off of my purchase for the day if I apply for a credit card. And I go, well, do I have to get approved for the credit card in order to get the $35? And she said, well, yeah, but you know what? I'll just at least give you 15. She's like, I'm the manager. I can do that. I'm like, well, score for me. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll apply. I go, they probably won't approve me, but for $15, let's give it a whirl. So I did, and then lo and behold, they approved me. So that was really cool. I mean, it's not because I have like a bunch of outstanding like credit card debt, like irresponsible stuff. I have a lot of medical debt, which is kind of like that kind of debt, like when you go to the emergency room and you're there for 2 hours and they like run a test and then they send you a bill for $8,000, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I'm in debt for. So I don't consider that like bad debt. I consider that getting screwed by the medical system, which is a topic for another day. So I have bad credit, and like, but I have a student loan, and I've been paying really good on it, and I think that's helping me. So they approved me. Yeah. So yeah, I applied, and then so I got $500 credit, and I had 30 days to use my credit card, and then I would get $25 off. So I was like, this is like the best day ever. And I told her, the gal, the manager who checked me out, I'm like, this is just like everybody was there when I needed them. It was just the best trip to Home Depot ever. And yeah, so I did go back to use. I finally went just a couple days ago, and I was kind of not in a rush to use it because I wanted to use up that $25 really smartly, if that's even a word. And I needed a box to ship out my Homerun for the month. And so what I ended up doing was I went down and basically, and there was like no minimum purchase. Like I could have just purchased like $25 and stopped, and they probably would have made me pay taxes or something. But I don't know. I mean, they might have even paid my taxes for me. I ended up spending a little bit more because there was a couple things I needed, and I wanted to stock up on boxes. So I got like, those big boxes that you only get at Home Depot, and that's pretty much the best place to actually buy big boxes if you're going to buy boxes. So if you don't know about where to get good big boxes, go to Home Depot. Now, yeah, and they have strong ones, like heavy duty thick boxes, and they have like thinner boxes. And sometimes you don't need like a heavy duty box to ship something, but then other times you really want the heavy duty one. Especially if you're planning on insuring something, or you are concerned that you might have to make a claim, because I'll tell you right now, I used to work for UPS, and I've talked to the FedEx people, and you could still win, quote unquote win, but they will try to get out of paying out on that stuff sometimes if your packaging is not up to standard. And so if you have like a new thick box, and you've got like the proper space and all this stuff, this isn't really about shipping, but you just have a better chance of being able to. So for an extra couple bucks, you can get the heavy duty box, and then maybe it might cost you an extra $3 to $5 wherever you're shipping to, like for that bigger box too. So for an extra $5, $6, $7, if you've got something expensive and breakable, you might want to get the thicker box. That should be in my other section. I'm like talking outside of the proper section, because I have another section for later. What did I want to call it? Think inside the box. That's what. And here I am. That should be for that section. Okay. So I don't know. That was just an amazing trip, and I've been wanting to talk about it on YouTube because, sometimes like you're outsourcing and it's just like you hit the jackpot like everywhere you turn, and everything's just working out great. And then other days you're like, what the heck? Like, what am I doing in this business? Like, oh my gosh, I hope it's not like my good fortune has ended. Like, so yeah, so I'm really excited, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do with the lamps is I'm going to sell 2 of them together as like a double whatever set, and then it'll be like a super duper good deal for somebody, but I'll make more money in one transaction. So, and that's kind of my goal, is to have higher dollar singular transactions rather than a bunch of littles and smalls. And I'm not against that. I sell a lot of clothes that most people would consider littles and smalls, and it's my bread and butter money, and I really do enjoy it, but I gotta work smart too. So that's only, I have to keep that as a small portion, not the entire part of my business. So anyway, so that's my third base steal. I'm real excited about that. So hopefully I'll be doing a video about that later. Who knows? I say that about everything. I'll probably do a video about that later. You could spend all day long just making videos. Okay, finders keepers. That is another one of my sections. Now, I don't know about you, but I find a lot of stuff I'm like, well, if it doesn't sell, I can keep it. And here's something that it looks like I'm probably going to have to keep it. Actually, I haven't had these that long, but it seems like they've been in my store for a long time, and people just don't really seem interested in them. But I love them, and they fit me. And it is these like new Tommy Bahama wedges, cork wedges, and they're cushy, and I just think they're cute. I love grommets. So yeah, I love these. I mean, these things are like brand spanking new. Like somebody maybe wore them once inside, or they were just tried on. So yeah, I might keep those. I don't know. I might keep them in my store over the summer, and if nobody buys them over the summer, they're mine. I found them. I get to keep them. So it's just fun. That was going to be, this is one of my questions for you is how many things in your store have you said that you have listed for sale that you're like, well, if it doesn't sell, I'll keep it? Like, how many things like that do you have? I just wonder how many people do that, because I don't know how many things I have, but I'm going to guess that there's probably 5% of things I'm like, I'll just keep it. Okay, so that's this week's Finders Keepers item. I don't know if I'm going to do this one every week, but every once in a while, the Finders Keepers segment will pop up. Okay, what is next on the agenda? Architect Talk. Okay, this was just going to be called Tech Talk, but I wanted to do something a little less boring than that, and I couldn't really think of anything catchy because I'm really not that creative. But my last name is Aki, and my dad is an architect, and I once worked in an architectural office, and we just always sort of had this play on words with our last name, because it kind of, like, my dad's name is Richard Aki, architect, and it just, like, the spelling of it, it just sort of goes together. I don't know how to explain it. It's like alliteration. Anyways, my last name is Aki, and me and my dad are always bitching about technology. So we're having Aki Tech Talk, and I am so non-techie. And I think there needs to be more people on YouTube who are non-techie reviewing tech, because when I watch, certainly I learn from the super duper high tech people, but at the same time I'm like, I have to rewind the video like for 2 sentences and then look up 3 words, like, you know, or I have to go, what the hell are they talking about? You know, like, it takes me a while sometimes. And, or it's just totally over my head. But, you know, the more you listen to it, you get sort of accustomed to it. But I think that there just needs to be more tech reviews for people that are non-techie, because if non-techie people can use something, then it's a good thing. And one example of that would be, my brother and I were just talking about this. Great, what's that website called? Shoot. I just thought of it, and now I can't remember it, and I didn't write it down. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember it again. Because I racked my brain earlier trying to think of it, and then like an idiot I didn't write it down. Oh my gosh, it's a website where you can add things to it, and it gained a lot of popularity about 5 years ago. And everybody's like, oh, it gets the best search engine stuff. Was the big thing. I don't know. At least that was my impression. Oh my god, what is it called? Well, there's this one website that's kind of popular. Oh, I cannot believe I cannot remember it. Let me type in some. Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, to enjoy the silence. Let's see if it's on this list. No. WordPress. That's what it is, WordPress. So my brother and I were talking about WordPress, and I was working for him. I was trying to start like another business where I was like a real estate like assistant, and I was considering getting into real estate management. And my brother's been a real estate agent for like 20 years. And he's like an entrepreneur and has all these ideas, and I'm like, well, I'm an entrepreneur too. Let's join forces instead of like not getting anywhere doing stuff all by ourselves. And I wasn't quite ready at the time because I had just quit. I'm going off on a tangent. I do that. I had just quit another business, and I kind of needed a break from anything entrepreneur at the time. And I was totally broke. And it's not it wasn't really a good place for me to start. But I still learned a lot. I mean, I still could have made it happen. Could have made something happen, but I dropped out of that too. I was just like, I don't know if this is for me. But he wanted me to learn WordPress. And I went on there and I tried to learn it, and it wasn't very easy. Like, it wasn't self-explanatory. It was like, when you go to try to learn something and you have to watch 5 hours of YouTube videos and look every time you want to do one thing, it takes you 5 hours to find the answer to figure it out. And a lot of times it doesn't take that long, but sometimes it does. You just want to figure out one simple thing, and you don't even really know the right words, the keywords to use to find the answer to your question, because you don't know what that's called. Or there just is no answer. Whatever. I mean, that's another problem too. Like, 9 times out of 10, yes, you can find the answers on the internet, but I always have those weird pesky questions that nobody has the answer to. That's another thing that I want to include in future. I might even make Architect Talk like a completely separate show. But I want to start learning, like, I'm gonna fill in those gaps where people, like, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. So, Architect Talk, that's us non-tech people talking about tech. Yep. So, what I want to talk about this week in this category is Google Photos. Now, I have been using the Samsung Galaxy camera, which I actually really, really like a lot. I'm sure there's cameras out there that take better pictures, but this is good enough for eBay. Like, it gets good detail in, and it has good focus. It's point and shoot. Anyways, I talked about it on another video, and I'll probably talk. I guess one thing I will say about it that I think is annoying is you accidentally, like, it has like a touch screen, and it's actually kind of annoying because a lot of times you hit stuff, and then you have to like go back to the camera, and it's just, every time you do that, it's 3 seconds out of your 2 seconds or 3 seconds out of your photo shoot time, and you do that 10 times. It's like It's like every second counts, and you're trying to be efficient. Like that's what I'm working on, is efficiency. Like I'm always working on efficiency. And that was the whole reason why I even got this in the first place, was so that I don't have to load the pictures up through the USB cord or with the card. And it could just go to Google Photos. And I love that. Except for, then you've got to deal with that screen constantly. I think there's some way to lock it. I need to look that up. There's some way to lock it so it just stays on camera the whole time. And if not, they need to have that on these kind of cameras. If no camera has that feature, that is sorely needed. And the other thing I don't like, and I may have mentioned this in another video already, so sorry if you're hearing this again. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching more of my stuff. But it doesn't, like, all the pictures don't go through. Like almost every time I do like a photography session, if I do 50 pictures, there's always like 3 items that I have to take the first picture of again, or the tag picture didn't come through. Like, and every once in a while there'll be like a picture I'm like, well, we can live without that picture. You know what I mean? But like most of the time it's a picture that I need to go back over and take like 3 items and retake those pictures. And so that's kind of annoying, and that interferes with efficiency. Now, I understand and respect and expect there to be glitches every now and then, where a photo won't go through, because that's how my other point and shoot that was not Wi-Fi would do that every now and then. It would just, every once in a while, I'd be like, oh, where's that one photo? But it would be like every 500 photos. With this Galaxy and Google Photos, it's like every 50 photos I'm losing 3 or 4 shots. But I would lose like maybe 1 or 2, or sometimes just like whatever. With the Sony, that Sony I don't even know what you would refer to it as. See, I am totally non-techie. The Sony load up with the USB camera, that wasn't a big problem. So I really don't like that. And I'm thinking that if I get like a newer tech, that won't be as much of a problem. And I want to get a higher tech, newer, latest, greatest camera or phone with a camera and test it out. So probably what I'm going to do is somehow convince my dad to come down to my office and bring his Galaxy Samsung 6 so that I can test that out, and I can tell you how if it's as glitchy or not. And he's kind of frustrated with the phone, and so I've been gently suggesting that he goes back to the flip phone, and I'll take his iPhone or his Galaxy 6. Like, just go back to the flip phone, Dad. I actually like the flip phone. I kind of miss it. But, I mean, these smartphones are cool, but there's just something about a flip phone. Just love them. Okay. So, oh yeah, another thing I wanted to say about the Google Photos besides that glitchy problem is that on my new computer, CPU tower computer thing, the guy from the computer dude, I guess he's an IT guy. I don't know, I should ask him. I'm like, so would you be considered an IT guy? He just came and hooked me up, and I mean, he like worked zoomy fast. He must be really smart. Anyways, he came and set everything up. Like, it was just amazing. Like, unbelievable. And so on this, my main computer, I can access Google Photos from eBay. Except for one day. Except for there was this time where nothing was working, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I don't even know how I got it to work again. But then I took my other computer that's supposed to be for listing, my old laptop, because it was glitchy, or they suspected that there was something corrupted, and because it wouldn't recognize my printer. Oh my gosh, I feel like I keep talking about this in all my videos, but it has been like this big thing. So they said that he said that to take that down, and they would like redo it for me, like whatever, get new stuff on it, and I would lose everything. So what I lost was the setup for the Google Photos, because he did something to make it so that I could access Google Photos from eBay. Now I don't know what he did. I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna pay him another, if I have to, I'm gonna pay him another $130 to come down here and do that. Of course, I'm gonna try to convince him to do it for a lot less or for nothing, because you know. But I will pay them, because you know what? I mean, they have a lot of overhead. Anyways, and I respect that people need to get paid for their efforts, and he's really truly trying to help me, and he and I mean, he's just really good. Like, I just want him to show me, and then I am going to show the world on YouTube how to make this happen, because I can't find any videos about it, about whatever it was that he did to make this work. There's no videos. And maybe the rest of the world that is a little more tech savvy than me, maybe they know how to do it. And they're like, how could you not know? Like, well, I don't know, and nobody can tell me, and I don't know how to ask the right question to get the right answer. That's the other problem with looking things up online, is sometimes you need to know the answer. Like, it took me like half a day to figure out how to do like screenshot sharing videos. I didn't know what the hell that was called. I'm like, what do you call that? So anyways, luckily that actually went pretty good when I went to go figure that out. I was like all proud of myself. What was next? Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong notes. Oh, do I want to talk about this? We're at 40 seconds. I better stop. So that is the Architect Talk for today, and it's basically whining and what's coming soon. It's all about whining. Yeah. Okay. Now the next segment, think inside the box. There's so much encouragement out there to think outside the box. And traditionally, that's my normal MO, to think outside of the box. I'm an outside of the box kind of person. But you know what? When you're running an eBay business, it's important to be able to think inside the box. So, for many reasons, because A, you're packing stuff in boxes to ship, and you want it to be packed properly to protect your things, and yada yada yada. But you also need boxes for storage. And who wants to spend money on that stuff? So there is a solution. It is called Costco. And this is one of my favorite boxes. Starbucks French Roast box in green. And I don't know if every single Costco has these. And hopefully they will continue to sell this product and use this box for many, many years to come. And I need to get down there and get more of these, because that is kind of a scary thought. Like, what if they stop? But there might be other boxes similar to this. You could probably find, I need to look around, but this one's my favorite so far. Now, what I like about this is you can take 2 or 3 of these and stack them on top of each other. And then because it has this opening, it's easy to like put stuff in and pull stuff out. And I like to, like this particular box has, I'm not going to pull that top out. It has my needle stuff in it. And if I was like a big time needlecraft seller with stuff like this, this would be an excellent, excellent storage solution. I mean, maybe there's other ways to do it. You could keep them in files or something so they're marked better. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if you had a lot of them, you could be like, you know, anything, you know, the dimensions are here and the whatever the other Janlins are here and the whatever other brands. You could keep them by brand or whatever. And like you could have like 6 of those and then you can have them all arranged different ways. Whatever works for you. Or you could just do like that letter system, like where you mark it, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. And just mark it somewhere in your listing or in your, somewhere, wherever, your inventory. So when you sell it, you know which box to go look in. Okay. And the other thing is, like I said, you could stack 3 of them, but I would recommend that you have a little bit of space up above, and I kind of prefer just to do 2, and then you want a little bit of space above the top one, because if you do need to lift it up to get into the bottom one, you know, then it's not like a big thing. Because actually, like, if this one that I just showed you was on the bottom, you might not necessarily want to like bend stuff to pull it out. Like you really just lift the top, the box that's sitting on top of it. You want to just be able to lift it up so you can get stuff out. But you can easily look through it, and then of course you can use it for other things, like I don't know, golf balls. If you collect golf balls, just toss them in there. Doll clothes, that because I've been trying to collect doll clothes, but I never find them ever. Never ever do I find doll clothes. Like twice have I found doll clothes. I can't find them, and I look. It's because I've been planning on just like amassing doll clothes and then selling them, and like, I can't find them. So you know what? Maybe I should just not do dolls. It's a sign from the universe. But if you do like doll clothes, like you could use these to sort out doll, like anything like that that you're collecting, scraps of stuff. What else? I don't know. I don't have a lot of teeny tiny things, but you know, anything that's just kind of small. I'm sure you could think of your own things that I am not even aware of. Okay. So yeah, look for those boxes at Costco. Okay, so that was think inside the box tips. And then you got the bonus think inside the box tip earlier with me talking about boxes at the beginning of the show. I don't remember what I was saying, but I remember I was talking about them. I have a short-term memory. What can I say? Oh, yeah. Okay. And okay, this is the second to the last segment, and I want to do this every time. And now for something completely different. There's just so many weird and crazy and interesting things going on in the world that you just want to share them with people. And the other thing is like sometimes, like, you know, when you're doing reselling, like I usually listen to people like me talking. Like this is my favorite kind of show, the one I'm putting on right now. This is actually one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because yeah, I like to watch the hauls or the sales reports and all that stuff, and so like there's a lot of videos where you need to just sit down and watch, but it's just so much easier to have like talk shows to listen to while you're working that are about reselling, and it helps me stay focused and motivated when I listen to other resellers talk. So like, you know, like Scavenger Life and Jay and Nay, you know, I love that they do those hour-long talks, and what is it, the morning show one, Reseller Stew is great. Oh, and then of course all the stuff Golden Finger Tinker does, and Ronnie Hart, like, and Pete. I love those guys. So I love listening to all those shows. And okay, wait, I was going somewhere. But sometimes it's nice to listen to something completely different. Now, I have not previewed this because I just thought of this like right at the last minute. But there is, oh, did I get rid of it like an idiot? No, there it is. Oh, no, wait a minute. What the heck? I did. Did I write it down? Okay. Monty Python. There's a movie called Now and Now for something completely different, and that's like a John Cleese thing, and it's from the early 70s, and it's funny. And I have just always loved that saying, and now for something completely different. Like, it just, I don't know why, it just amuses me so. Because I'm an outside the box thinker, you know. That's why we have a segment called Inside the Box, to balance things out. So, so I just went on YouTube to just sort of look at that when I thought of it, and then I came across this other. It was like a special show that I think they probably played in the UK, and it was called How to Irritate People. And I'm like, it's just got to be funny. If it's got John Cleese, and it's Monty Python, it's got to be funny. Like, normally I wouldn't be attracted to such a topic, but it's just got to be funny. And I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling that if you're looking for something funny to listen to while you're working, I have a feeling that's going to be one of them. I don't know if it's going to require a lot of having to watch. But the other thing that's kind of interesting about it, and this is just because I'm interested in this kind of stuff, is the set at the opening of the show is amazing. Like, it looks like something that would be cool. It's timeless. It's like timeless modern. It kind of actually more resembles like the 80s. I don't know. It just, like, it totally would have been like super hot in the 80s. Like, if you'd have had a show with that background in the 80s, that would have been like totally cool. And it was from this show is actually from 1968, and it still looks cool to this day. Like, the set is really, really neat. So that's another thing to check out when you do watch or listen to that video. How to Irritate People with John Cleese. Anyway, so I'm going to watch that later, and I'll let you guys know if I thought it was funny. It just has to be. And you guys let me know if you listened to it and you thought it was funny, and there will be a link below. Okay. Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I've hit all of my topics, and I still have about 6 minutes. Well, no. 7 minutes. I can't count. Before the hour is up. So that's pretty good. Usually I go over. Okay, so the last segment, my home run report. Unfortunately, I don't have it to show you. But I will leave a link below. link below to the image of my home run. Actually, I'm going to do a special video with my home run, but until I make that special video, I'll just have a link to a picture of one. But I found 2 Amron, and I don't know if this is the correct pronunciation, Amron lights. They're like desk lamps, and I think they might be from the 40s, but probably 50s. I don't know, the plug looked really old. I mean, maybe they were from the 60s. But even in the 60s, they tended to have more of the contemporary. I don't know. You know what? I don't know. They were not older. They definitely were not 70s. These were definitely, I believe they were, I don't know. I don't know how old they were. But they were old, and they're the kind of lamps that people are hot right now in the antique lamp world. And they're like those kind, they have the green, like rectangular light that kind of goes like this. Anyways, I got them for $4 each, and they both worked. And the green glass shades were either cracked or chipped on both, and but they still looked good even with the crack and the chip. Like the chip was really small, and the crack really wasn't that noticeable. Like, and so I looked them up, and they were selling for like over $100, like in good shape. And I knew to pick them up. That's another thing. I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the, okay, so we're going to end up with some more water cooler gossip. Cherry Vintage. Okay, how about shout out? Cherry Vintage is the one. I watched a video with Cherry Vintage, and she's like, these lamps are good. And yeah, so I didn't even look them up. I was at a thrift store, and I'm like, I'm taking this, I'm taking this, I'm taking this, I'm taking this. And so yeah, I got 2 of those for $4 each, and I sold each one for $70 basically. I think one ended up going for like 68, and the other one ended up going for like 71. So let's just call them $70 each. I made at least $60 on each lamp, and I call that a home run. So to me, that is a home run. Like, I don't care what anybody says. It's not a home run. Okay, like people like Pete and Golden Finger Picker, like they're all into those electronics, and they know what to do with them, and they know what they all do, and they know what's what with those things, and they love to mess with them, and they'll fix them and shit if they need to. Like, those things can be total home runs. But but the lamps are easy, so in a way it's a different kind of home run, because you don't really need to know anything. You just see them. You see them and you plug them in, and they work. Like with the stereo stuff, like what the hell do you do with this thing? You know, like I don't know what to do with that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, it's not a home run like what those guys get. Like sometimes they'll pick those things up for like $25 or $50, or sometimes even like just $10, and they'll flip stuff for like $400 or $500. That's definitely a home run. And I think out of the ballpark is like those people that pick up something for $5 at a garage sale and sell it for thousands. That's like hitting it out of the ballpark, you know, and that's really rare. So, but to me, a home run is something that you buy for like $5, and you sell it for, and you make net over $60. And it was easy. And a lot of people think that some people don't really like to do shipping, or they're not equipped for shipping. I am set up for shipping. I am trained UPS store shipping capable, and I have everything I need to make it as easy as possible, and I know what needs to be done. So the only thing that was hard about it was that I had to go pick up some boxes at Home Depot, which I got for free thanks to that whole credit card situation I talked about earlier. So yeah, that just a lot of good stuff going on. I actually, oh wow, I still have 30 seconds till the 1 hour mark. I actually had another video that I made before this one, and it was all whining and bitching. And you know what? I'm erasing it. I don't want it on there because I had a really bad week last week with tech issues, but all of a sudden things are working. Other things that were working before, when everything else was broken down, have stopped working. So I mean, it's just whatever. it'll work itself out eventually. But I made it through the storm and I'm back in business and stuff is selling again and it's really great. In fact, right when I started this video, I had a sale. Oh, did I get another sale? Oh, I might have got another sale. I did. Let's see what it is. Oh, that. It was a dud. One of my duds sold to somebody with 1 feedback. That's awesome. What the heck kind of name is that? That looks fake. Oh, that is weird. Okay. So, whatever. Okay. Something sold. Hey, it's a little bit of money in my pocket. I got my money back for what I bought that thing for. It was a linen shirt that was kind of messed up. I didn't realize it, and I thought, well, I'll just list it and see what happens. And now I'm like, I just want to get I went through the trouble of listing it, and I just want to get my money back now. So I'm just going to leave it up for a little while longer and see if I can at least just get my money back, because it'll be really fast to ship it. So, yay, I got my money back. All right, I can go sourcing. I have an extra $4 for sourcing. Okay, guys. Oh, now I'm over by 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thank you so much for tuning in to Reseller Shop Talk. And hopefully we can, I'll actually be talking to other people in the comments below, or eventually, we can do Google Hangouts, or I don't know, however it's done, you can have people on the show talking. And I would not say that I am like a good interviewer, but hopefully I could have some kind of interesting conversation with people. We'll see. If not, well, at least I tried. But yeah, and also be sure, if you do videos, leave a link below. I will go and watch your videos. So have a great day, and may you have a lot of success in your reselling business. Bye.